Alright, good afternoon everybody. This is my messy garden, or my messy jungle of a garden, and I am filming today an experiment that I'm planning to conduct. That is, I have lots of worms in my flower, or not flower, but in my pots. I recall over a year ago, I have collected tons and tons, figuratively speaking, of Starbucks coffee. Forgot about them over the winter. Come spring, I look at them to clean up the garden, and I saw lots of worms. And at that time, I wasn't knowledgeable about the composting worms, and I did know that worms are important and that they aerate the soil. So what I did is just put them back in the garden, and some of it, the compost with the worms, I use it to mix in my vegetable container um, garden. So here is one of the pots that has the worms. I have been feeding the spot with the same food that I've been feeding my indoor worm bin, but they're little tiny worms in here, and it is really hard to collect them. So I decided to go ahead and feed them to fatten them up, so it's easier to corral them together and put them in my bin. And it's gonna be summer now, and this container pots, or these containers, are gonna dry up real easily. So, and I know that will kill the worms. So I'm gonna go ahead and provide a shelter for them, and at the same time benefit from it. Okay, now what you're seeing on screen are the frozen tomatoes that I have placed in here earlier, and I collected some of the worms here, and there were a lot of them congregating, maybe 10 to 20 in one of the watermelon or cantaloupes that I have fed to them earlier last week. So yeah, I should be using my hands. I'm hearing voices in my head. I should be not using this shovel here, but I don't want to dirty my hands because I am operating a video camera here. Um, so there were a lot of them in here, which right now they are hiding. I see something. I don't know if the camera is capturing that, but there is a worm right there. I can't see it. Maybe that's it. Okay. This is another pot that has more worms, and they're huger, and I think there are centipedes or millipedes in here. So I will definitely use the shovel. Nothing yet. Okay, there they are. I don't know if you... Oh well, they're there. Okay, here's one. Huh. Okay. Now, I decided to leave these worms be because I'm concerned of bringing millipedes to my experimental bin. But maybe if they're big enough, then I can just hand pick them and put them individually into my worm bin. Okay, they're not ready for prime time. Now this is the... Oh, I see there's something there, yeah. Okay. Here is another pot that has worms. Okay, there we go. There. It's not moving. Is it alive? I don't know. Doesn't look like it's moving. Okay, I guess it moved. That is the other pot of worms. I was here this morning and there were a lot of them. Okay, I might as well just dig in there. No, not dig, but... Now, if you guys can see this is very dark black, almost like black gold. This is the side of the last feeding. Okay, this is the paper towel with banana puree. Okay. Okay. They are the worms that I was referring to. Okay. This is my 3-gallon Rubbermaid roughneck bin, in which I have placed the worms from the pots that I found. And mostly the stock of worms in this bin were taken from that pot right there. Alright. Now, I have prepped this bin with, again, cardboard, with eggshells, and it's been marinating here for about 1 to 2 weeks. It dried up, so I kind of moistened it again. And now, here we are in the present time. And, okay, in here are the frozen, what do I have here? Okay, frozen tomatoes. No, it's not frozen. And then tomatoes and sliced tomatoes. So I covered it up so it wouldn't smell. Now, on this other side of the bin is the contents from that pot. And most of this, it has alfalfa, because that's what I use to mulch my pots, cardboard, and some of the compost that were already there. Now, okay, I can see some. So I probably put in here maybe 50 worms total that I can count with my naked eye. And so this is the pureed banana. Yeah, there's one there, and there's see that worm over there has the yellow tail, so I'm assuming it's a a red wiggler. But who is to say? I'm not an expert in this one. I'm just a newcomer, a newbie. Okay. Anyway, so that's them. I'm glad they're still alive. They should. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't be. And I am almost whispering because I don't want the neighbors to hear me and wonder what I'm doing here, talking to myself. So, anyway. There's another one. Okay. Oh, there's a big one. Yeah, right there. So, this is the essence of my experiment. My hypothesis is the worms that are in those pots are red wigglers. Why? Because I found them about over a year ago in a compost of forgotten coffee grounds, and I didn't know much about them, and so they were found in a compost litter, and they're really not on soil. They were on my concrete patio. So my hypothesis is they are red wigglers. So now it is really hard to tell unless they've grown, and I did see some tips of yellow. So let's see if they're going to survive this bin. Okay. And if they do, that will support my theory that they are at least composting worms. And when they get bigger, I will know more if they have the markings of a red wiggler. And what else? Basically, that is the main thing. And what I have been doing before now is collecting every now and then. Every time I see big worms, and put them in one of my smaller indoor bin, which is dominated by Indian blues, Malaysian worms, whatever you want to call them, or Perionyx excavatus. So this will really give it a definitive picture whether they really are red wigglers. Alright, I will check up on them maybe later, but I'll record again after a week.